Hello, my very lovely Capricorns. This is your reading for the week of January 5th, 2026, or when you hear it and it resonates. Of course, again, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, or key placements in your chart. So the first thing that I saw for you, Capricorn, was a really beautiful image. Do you know what it's like when you see dark clouds in the sky, but behind the dark clouds, there's sun and you see it coming through in just these isolated beams through the clouds? And what they're reminding me is the reason the beams are so obvious and so beautiful to us is because they are in contradiction to the dark of the cloud. It actually reminds us that the light is still there, and it's always there, regardless of whether or not there are clouds or whether or not it's sunny. It is there. The sun is there. The light is there. So this is the spiritual context for this: is the light is always there, and that when the clouds are dark, it's your job, Capricorn, to remember that the light is behind the cloud and the light is going to peek through. The light is meant to be peeking through, which reminds me of a reading that I did last week where there was a quote from the Leonard Cohen song basically saying, the cracks allow the light in, and that's what it's about. So I'm feeling with this, you get the mind card, Capricorn, and we know that you can be sometimes a little bit one-pointed when you look at things. And that's natural because as an earth sign, you want to create context. It's your energy, your psyche works well within having a structured context that you, with parameters that you're familiar with, that you can work within. Now, it doesn't mean you can't go beyond that. Absolutely not. What it's saying is pay attention to where your mind is going. Are you focusing on the dark clouds or are you focusing on the light? Because this card, the mind is not only the tool with which we interpret the world around us. The mind is the great cosmic cookie cutter, which manifests our world according to its shape and the ingredients we put into it. So what shape is your mind in, Capricorn? What you're being told here. Now, this is also important because even they're talking about, the dark clouds and the light beams. The dark clouds don't have to be anything that is really horrendous. It can simply be, a dark cloud can be a limiting thought that you have. It can be one of the things that comes with a presupposition of failure, fatigue, effort, things that in anticipation would kind of make you want to back up. But what it's saying is, no. There's light. Look at the light. Focus on the light. So if it's a situation that you're thinking of embarking on, look at deliberately call to mind those things that are positive to you, those things that lighten you up. Instead of focusing on the hurdles or the potential of it all, focus on what it might be like if it turned out that you had the gracious universe guiding you with a gentle hand. And what if angels were everywhere, that the universe was providing you with exactly what you needed at the right time, in alignment with where you're keeping your thoughts and your intention. That's your mind. That is focusing on the light. This keeps coming up for a lot of signs and for different people, and it is this. Spirit is really, really, really clear these days about how important it is for us to really understand the powerful change in energy that's happening, and how, not just immediately, that's not the right word, but how directly your intention is affecting what you are going to attract. What you are going to be aligned with is what you're going to attract. That's the nature of the energy frequency. Now, it doesn't mean to say you also won't attract the opposite sometimes. Now, I know this is where it gets to be a little bit of a mind fluff. However, we know that when the light comes out, the dark is more obvious. The shadows are more obvious. So that's okay. We don't mind about that, because the light shows us where the shadows are, and that's where we get to grow. That's where we get to say, where's my mind? Do I expand the parameters? How am I seeing the world around me? Am I seeing it as a dangerous place, a place where there's struggle and effort? Or do I trust that there are also wonderful, wonderful people and things and experiences out there when I choose to align with them? And that by leaning into grace, this is where I stay aligned with that intention. Because sometimes my personality might limit my mind, right? That's reality too. So when we find ourselves in a space where we can't think positive, where we can't think beyond where we are currently stuck, or where we can't just imagine something wonderful if we've kind of gone into a state of apathy and lethargy, lean into grace. Lean into grace. Grace has a smooth, easy, peaceful, and supportive quality. It flows naturally into us and through us. It's an experience of letting the benevolent universe take us through our movements and guide us with a loving hand. Notice the feeling quality of this description and return to it today every time you're about to do or think about anything, or at any point in the day when you find yourself feeling stressed and thinking too much. Listen, Capricorn, you've got grace and you've got angels everywhere. You've got trust in the divine. You've got angels on the earth plane. This, for me, my dears, is challenge your mind if it is not embracing this reality. Challenge your mind and see if you can expand it into this. And by leaning into grace, by leaning into the feeling quality of what grace is, by leaning into the understanding that there is a benevolent universe there for you, and by leaning into the reality of that, and then looking for the light beams that come through the clouds, looking for the angels, acknowledging them. They might not be big and flamboyant. They might be just a little kid smiling at you and waving. It might be an animal coming across your path and you just having the good fortune of being able to stand there and watch them in their natural habitat. It might be somebody just being really kind to you in a way that you hadn't expected or didn't experience, or you being able to feel it more deeply. So I'm going to leave you with that, Capricorn, because it feels to me as though with these three cards, this is saying to you, Capricorn, you have great ability to align yourself with the kind of life that you want, and that you're going to have the support both dimensionally from another dimension, and also it's going to show up in the earth plane for you. So keep an eye out for it and watch your beautiful mind. Let it be the cookie cutter you want, and then put the filling into it accordingly. Okay? I leave you with that, beautiful Capricorns. Take care.